There is something about men who don't post on social media. There is a certain type of man who moves differently. He's not loud. He's not always online. He's not posting every meal, every outing, every emotional, every new thing he buys. And because he's invisible to the crowd, people make all kinds of assumptions. Some think he's hiding something. Some think he's boring. Some think he's mysterious. And some, especially women, quietly wonder why a man like that exists in a world where everyone is shouting for attention. But here is the truth people rarely talk about. A man who doesn't post on social media is operating from a completely different mindset, a mindset most people will never understand. Now, today we are breaking it all open. Why do some men avoid social media? Why does it say what does it say about their personality, their confidence, their lifestyle, their relationships, and most importantly, why does this type of man stand out in a generation addicted to validation? Now, by the end of this video, you understand a man who doesn't post online on the level you've never heard before, not from books, not from blogs, not from any influencer, but because we are going deeper into psychology. Now, let's begin. The man who lives in reality, not the internet. That's who the man is. When a man decides not to post on social media, it says something subtle about the man, but powerful. He lives in the real world, not the digital one. Think about it. Most people today document everything because they need proof that their life is interesting. It's like they don't trust their own memories unless the internet sees it with them. But the man who doesn't post, he's too busy living to stop and broadcast it. As in, he's too busy for all that. He doesn't need applause. He doesn't need algorithm. He doesn't need strangers to validate his success. His happiness or even his existence, he doesn't need all that. His memories are stored in his mind, not in the cloud. And that already tells you something deep. He's internally driven. He's not controlled by, outside noise. His life is measured by his own standards, not the world's reaction. This is the kind of mindset that separates boys from men. Why he values privacy more than attention. Such a man values privacy. There's a line only a few people understand. Attention is loud. Privacy is powerful. A man who doesn't post understands something simple. The more people know about your life, the more they feel entitled to judge it, interpret it, compare themselves to it, or interfere with it. But when you give the world nothing to analyze, they have nothing to attack. You will never hear this in mainstream conversations, but that is the truth. Your peace grows in silence. Your strength grows in privacy. This man protects his life like a vault. His relationships, his goals, his movements, his money, his plans, they are his, not entertainment for others. Women often say a man like this feels calm, like he's grounded, like he knows who he is. And that's because he does. A private man is not hiding, he's guarding. Guarding what matters, guarding what's sacred, guarding what he's building. And that's something only a mature mind understands. He doesn't perform. He produces. One thing about men who don't post, they don't live for performance. They live for results. Most people curate an online image. They polish it, filter it, edit it, exaggerate it. But a man who doesn't post isn't trying to look successful. He's actually trying to be successful because he knows there's a difference between looking rich and being rich, between looking happy and feeling happy, between looking confident and having real confidence. When you stop performing for an audience, you free up time, focus, and energy for actual growth. And that's why these men tend to be more productive, more focused, more disciplined, more present, more self-defined. They're not building a feed, they are building a future. The silent confidence most men wish they had. That's who this man is. There is no unique confidence that comes with not posting. There is a unique confidence that comes with not posting. It's quiet, it's subtle, it's almost intimidating. Why? Because this kind of man does not need to be seen to feel valuable. He doesn't need likes to feel liked. He doesn't need followers to feel important. He doesn't need online applause to feel accomplished. This is internal confidence, the kind that shows in how he speaks, how he walks, how he handles pressure. He's secure enough to be unseen, and that is one of the rarest forms of confidence today. Women pick up on all this instinctively. A man who posts less seems more self-contained, more composed, more serious about his life. He gives off the vibe of a man with purpose, not a man seeking validation. And whether people admit it or not, it is deeply, deeply attractive. The mystery factor to why women find him so intriguing. Here is something you will never hear on social media. Mystery is not created by pretending. Mystery is created by being selective. When a man doesn't post much, he becomes harder to read, harder to predict, harder to label, and the human mind hates open loops. People become curious. Women especially wonder, who is he? What is he up to? Why doesn't he share anything? What kind of life is he living? When there is no digital trail, the imagination starts doing the work. This is why people with fewer posts often appear more interesting, even when they are living normal lives. Mystery creates magnetism, not because he's trying to be mysterious, but because his silence leaves room for curiosity. He doesn't overshare. He doesn't explain himself. He doesn't chase attention. And that creates a sense of depth. A woman feels like she has to earn access to him. Not everyone gets to see his word. And that is part of his power. The man who values real connections over digital performances. That is who the man is. Now, one of the biggest misunderstandings about men who don't post is this. People assume he's cold, but he's not. He simply prefers real-life intimacy over digital visibility. He values real conversations. He values real experiences. He values real memories. He values real relationships. He may not post his dinner, but he will enjoy it deeply. He may not post his girlfriend, but he will love her deeply. He may not post every achievement, but he will celebrate them fully. He doesn't need the world to clap for him before he feels proud of himself. This type of man gives his emotional energy to people who matter, not to the crowd, not to the noise, not to the faceless audience online. He's not antisocial. He's selective, but about who gets his time and attention. And that's a sign of emotional maturity. Now, the financial and mental advantage he has over others. This might shock you, but it is true. Men who post less often save themselves from, unnecessary financial pressure, because the more you post, the more you compare yourself to others. The more you post, the more you compare yourself to others. You compare your job, you compare your car, your clothes, your lifestyles, your vacations, your pace in life. You compare virtually everything. But a man who doesn't post doesn't play that game. He's not chasing trends. He's not competing with strangers. He's not buying things to impress anyone. And because he avoids the comparison trap, his mental space is cleaner. His spending is intentional. His growth is organic. He becomes grounded. He becomes stable. He becomes focused. And that leads to better financial decisions, better relationships, and a clearer sense of identity. He doesn't owe the internet his story. Now, this is the part people never understand. A man who doesn't post is not hiding. He's choosing. Choosing who gets access. Choosing what to share. Choosing what remains sacred. Not everything belongs online. Some things deserve silence. Some moments deserve privacy. Some memories deserve to stay untouched. And a man like this knows that. He doesn't owe anyone updates. He doesn't owe anyone explanations. He doesn't owe anyone proof of anything. His life is his. Not entertainment for strangers. Not a highlight reel. Not a marketing campaign. His privacy is his boundary, and he stands on it. Now, there's this misunderstanding a man who doesn't post online faces. Men who don't post often get judged unfairly. Some common assumptions are he's hiding a woman. He must be insecure. He doesn't have anything exciting going on. But most of these assumptions come from people who are addicted to visibility. When you're used to sharing everything, you assume everyone else should do the same. But this man is not insecure. He's secure enough to be unseen. He's not hiding a woman. He's protecting his personal life. He's not boring. He just doesn't use the internet for entertainment. His quietness is not emptiness. It's selective expression. And not everyone will be mature enough to understand that. Not everyone. Now there is an advantage, a relationship advantage. Women feel safer with him. Women feel safer with such a man. Now here's the part nobody talks about. Women actually feel safer with a man who doesn't post too much. I know you ask why. Why? Because he's not seeking external attention. He's not flirting for likes. He's not fishing for validation from random women online. He's not performing for strangers. He's harder to access, harder to influence, harder to sway with public opinion. His loyalty is not measured in comments or followers. It's measured in quiet consistency. Many women say, it feels like he belongs to me, not the internet. And that feeling is priceless. That's what most women want. And because a man who doesn't, crave the spotlight really loses himself in it. Now, I will tell you this long-term truth. This type of man ages better. Here's something people don't realize. Men who aren't always online tend to age better emotionally. They are less drained, less anxious, less distracted, less insecure, because they have mastered the art of being present. When a man builds a life offline, he develops patience, he grows self-awareness, he builds real discipline. He strengthens his emotional intelligence. And these qualities age like fine wine. He becomes wiser, calmer, more grounded, and people start seeking him for advice, stability, and leadership. He becomes the man others look up to, not because he posted his journey, but because he lived it. He lived it. Now I'm going to give you this final truth. Men who post less think more, act better, and love deeper. Now let's be honest. Not everyone online is bad. Social media has its place. Yeah, but men who choose to step back from constant posting, understand something the world has forgotten. Life is not a performance. Life is lived between the moments, not just the ones captured. And the man who doesn't post much, he thinks more, he observes more, he listens more, he loves more intentionally, he grows more quietly, he lives more deeply. And that makes him rare, valuable, memorable, and respected. Not because he's trying to be mysterious or special, but because he's mastered something very few people have: the art of being enough without the crowd watching. So the next time you see a man who doesn't post much, I want you to understand this. He's not invisible. He's intentional. He's not dull. He's deliberate. He's not hiding. He's protecting. He's not antisocial. He's selective. He's not lost. He is focused. And in a world where everyone is screaming for attention, the quiet man stands out the most. Not because he's loud, but because his silence has weight. It has power. It has presence. It has all this. And men like this are not many. And when you meet one, you understand why his absence speaks louder than other people's constant noise. Now, if you enjoyed this video and learned something from it, I would like to give it a thumbs up, share this video so that more people will get to watch it. And if you have not subscribed, I would advise you subscribe, because you'll be learning a lot from this channel. And see you some other time.